Hi everybody, today we're going to be doing a quick video. It's going to be about an idea that I found, got inspired by Jordy Koliatic. I don't know. I'll link his Instagram down below so you guys check out his work. But yeah, so I grabbed a tennis ball, wetted it, and spun it, so we got a cool photo, and I think that you guys should try this at home. No matter what skill level you are, it's going to be a really good way to practice your high shutter speed photography and your creative muscles as well, because you can make it your own, sort of like I did. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's roll that intro. Okay, so what I did is that I had a tennis player, aka my dad, spin the ball, and I used my 50mm 1.8, so I could use a higher shutter speed because I was using a 1.8. But having that really shallow depth of field can cause various problems, like for example, struggling to have the ball be in focus, and because it does move around quite a bit and it can be hard to keep it in focus. So later in the video I did put my aperture up a bit to 2.8. I did introduce lower shutter speeds, but I didn't realize that it would be that big of a problem as I just used a slightly slower shutter speed, but it wasn't that much. I am here using my D5600, and I am using the Yongnuo 50mm 1.8. I'm thinking of doing a review on this relatively soon. I think it's the best and cheapest lens to get. I think it's the next lens you should get besides your kit lens if you don't already have a 50mm, which I recommend actually getting the one for your brand, but it doesn't really matter. It can be used. The only problem is that the lens for video, the autofocusing is super loud, so you might as well not use that for video at all. I tried it. You can very clearly hear it. You guys heard it in my self-portrait video. If you guys want to check that out, you guys can click up above. And so essentially I had him spin it, and what we realized was that the ball was too new, in the sense that it was too good. So a tennis ball, it has, like, I don't know how to describe it, but the cloth, or I'm just gonna call it hairs in this scenario. The hairs were too short, so that there wasn't much water coming out, and so we had to grab an older one that was a bit worse. Also, do realize that if you guys are tennis players and you guys are using your tennis balls, your tennis balls are gonna get ruined, and your tennis racket can also get a bit ruined, from my understanding. So keep that in mind when you're shooting this. So try using older and gear that's a bit less, like a cheaper and not that good, because you don't need the best of the best, like, tennis racket or tennis ball to do this. But yeah, so I thought that this was a really interesting photo shoot, and it really helps you understand the idea of depth of field and the idea of shutter speed. Okay guys, so I did this photo shoot like a month ago, and I've been really busy with school and, well, jobs that I've been doing, so I haven't been posting in a while, and that's why I filmed this video a while ago and then didn't film the outro or anything like that, like this, until now, which is kind of dumb of me on my side, but yeah, so sorry about that guys. So I'm probably going to be posting a lot more often in the future now, but I also don't know, because my plans are completely all over the place. So just for now, let's just talk about the photos I got, right? Because that's probably what you guys are here for. You guys don't care about my personal life, because that makes sense. You guys are just here to get content, and this is probably really shit content, but you know, screw it. So this is the first photo, and this is my favorite photo. So it looks like the particles are orbiting around the ball, and like the ball's breaking through in a sense. And I just like I don't necessarily like the background I have here. And that's because I don't like the fact that part of my house is showing, and then the rest is just woods. I just don't really like the composition I had in this picture. I kind of rushed this photo shoot, and I probably should have just spent more time with it and focused a lot more, but I also had to, yeah, so I had stuff to do afterwards, right? So I kind of rushed in. I should probably just put more time, and I would have got better results. So this is the other photo. This one's a lot more of the type of photo I kind of was expecting from the photo shoot, and it was the tennis ball spinning, and you can see that it was spinning through the particles that are sort of doing a spiral around the ball, and then we have the tennis racket right here. I kind of cut it off, and that was not great, but when you're trying to track a ball that's moving really fast, it's kind of hard to do that and work on composition. But again, if I spent more time, I would have probably been able to do that, right? So this is the other photo. This is a lot more clear, so you can clearly see the particles in the spiral around the ball, and I like that. The one thing I don't like, and this is what you guys should all watch out for, is look at the corner of the image, and do you see how, first of all, I cut out the particles at the top so you couldn't see the full spiral, and also you can see part of the arm of, so you can see part of his arm that was in the photo when he was spinning the ball. And this is not just in, this was probably a bit harder to figure it out because the ball was moving all over to the place, because it's kind of hard to plan where the ball is going, right? Because it's moving so fast. So I should, and this is just a tip, if you're taking portraits or any photo in general and you have control over your composition, I had control of my composition. I'm saying that like I didn't, but I was just, again, I was rushing the photo shoot and I just didn't focus on my composition as much, which is a mistake on my end. But never cut someone's arm. Like, if you're gonna show someone's body, don't just show their arm, show their whole body, or like don't cut them off at their knees, cut them off at their waist, right? So it's things like that that make the image just a tiny bit more better, that will make the difference between pro and amateur, right? So you have to watch out for those things. And then this is another photo that, this one you can see this time I actually did show his entire body. The racket got cut off, but I did show his entire body. And you can see here that it's not, the spiral is not as clear, but there's a lot more particles visible. Also, something very important is that you have to make sure that the background is dark, because then like the ideal lighting is that there's a dark background and the light's coming from the side of the particles, and that's what was going on. The sun was on this side of the photo and the background was dark because it was underexposed. That's what's going to make the particles show up, and that's what's going to make the image really nice. So yeah, that's pretty much all the photos I have, but I took multiple more, but they just weren't something I would use in this video or post them on Instagram, right? I do want to say this though, this video was mainly inspired by Jordy. He's an Instagram photographer. I am inspired by his work. I really suggest you guys to check him out. He gave me a lot of my ideas. He just make sure when you do these things that you take these ideas from another photographer. Make sure you are not copying them. For example, I made this my own by including so my goal was to get obviously a shot like this, but really I was looking for something unique like this, that was my favorite picture, right? So try not copying exactly what they do, but try making it your own, because that's how you're gonna learn. Because there's gonna be a point that you're gonna be so good at photography, and if you've been only practicing with other people that have their own ideas, you're not gonna have your own, and that's gonna be harder on your end too. It's better to practice this stuff now. So making stuff your own is very important in photography, right? Because you also don't want people claiming that their work is yours or not yours, because, well, yeah. So don't copy exactly what the other people do, make it your own. Right? So that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. So I will see you guys next time, and see you guys.